Hi guys, welcome to my channel. As you can see from the title, we are going to be discussing how to convert your non-European driver's license to a Icelandic driver's license. And yeah, so I recently got my Icelandic driver's license and I just decided that I'm gonna help someone and make the process a bit more simplified and explain everything in one video. Okay, yes, and disclaimer, I am not like a professional driving instructor or anything like that. I'm just sharing my personal experience about how I went about the process so that it can help you. And yeah, just check with the relevant authorities and official information sites to see if everything is up to date. So we're all on the same page. I had a driver's license from my home country, South Africa. So I had to follow the process of just converting it to an Icelandic driver's license by doing the theoretical test and then doing a practical test. If you are from a European country or a country that they have given exemption for this process, then all you have to do is just go to the district commissioner's office, I think, and fill out the forms, and then you just get the Icelandic version of the driver's license. So you can only start this process 6 months after you have lived in Iceland permanently. So you have this 6-month window where your license from your home country or wherever you got your license from, it will still be valid for the 6 months, but then after that it won't be valid, and you have to start the process of now converting it to an Icelandic license. So these are the steps that you need to take. So first things first, you need to get yourself a copy of this Driving in Iceland book so that you can start reading up about the rules about driving in Iceland, and most importantly, learning the road signs in Iceland and what they mean and how to apply them. So honestly speaking, when I first realized that I needed to convert my license again, I felt honestly annoyed and this is so dumb. But there are differences in how driving happens here compared to South Africa, which were useful during this process to learn how to adapt. And that is for me, it was navigating the circles, the roundabouts, because we don't have as many roundabouts that work the way that they do in South Africa, at least where I lived. So that was something new that I learned. And also I think the slower speeds, because in South Africa, our maximum speed is 120, and then here it's crazy. You're driving in town and sometimes you can be driving 40 or even 50. So those are the little things. Oh wait, and the other thing is the giving priority to people that are coming in from the right. That rule, that was something that I don't think we have that in South Africa, or it's not practiced. But Those are the things that I learned through this process. So you definitely want to get yourself a copy of this book and start learning about the rules of the road here in Iceland. And this book, you can order it online, and it's about 6,100 krona, and that's about 993 South African rands. You can have it delivered to your address, or you can pick it up from their offices. You have that option when you're ordering it online. So after you've ordered your textbook and you'll still be waiting for that, the next step would be to get your proof of residence, which is going to be showing that you've been residing in Iceland for 6 months now. So you can order that online through Netökuskólann, Island.is, basically. Okay, so getting that proof of residence in Iceland certificate from Netökuskólann is going to cost you 3,100 Icelandic krona, and that's about 443 South African rands for that certificate. I think you get it within a week. They'll send it to your email, and then you can just print it out and have it ready. So if you are four-eyed like me and you wear glasses, you need to book yourself a doctor's appointment at Helsuvera. I hope that's how you pronounce it. And basically, it's just going to be like a health checkup to say that you can see properly and you're medically fit. So if you wear glasses or you just have any other condition that might affect your driving, you need to get the health certificate from the doctor's office. And that's going to cost you in total of about 2,905 Icelandic krona. And that's about like 414 South African rands. Sorry. And then once you have booked your appointment and you've gotten your health certificate, you need to also get a passport-sized picture. I'm going to put the dimensions of the picture that you need, but it's basically just a normal passport-sized photograph of yourself that is going to be on your driver's license. So smile and make it look like a picture that you want to have on your license. Yeah. So the next step is you're going to download the application form to convert your non-European driver's license to an Icelandic one. And you can do this either on your app, if you have the Island.is app on your cell phone, or you can just go to the website and download the form, and then you complete it and submit it. So when you submit this form, it's going to cost you 8,905 Icelandic krona, and that's about 1,332 South African rands. And yeah, so you submit that, and then you need to wait about 2 or 3 days before you can now book your theoretical test, your theoretical driving test through Frumherji. Yes, I think that's how you say it. You have to do it online, and it's going to cost you about 7,090 Icelandic krona, which is the equivalent of about 1,000 South African rands for this theoretical test. So you can actually book the test about 2 or 3 days after you've submitted to the district offices, if at that point you are ready, because it does take time to get a date in your location. So you have to consider that as well, that maybe if you say you're booking on the 1st of January, then the available test date that you're going to get is probably it could be tomorrow, it could be 2 weeks away, or it could be like a month away. So you can actually just check the dates that are available 2 days after you've submitted at the district commissioner's office. So after you've gotten your paperwork out of the way, you've submitted to the district commissioner's office and all of that, you can focus on studying the rules of the road, and you should also make use of practice questions so that you are prepared for the test as best as possible. The test is going to have 50 questions, and you can only get 45. You have to get 45 or more to pass the test, right? The test is in a true or false format. And so what I did was I got a 30-day subscription from 17.is, and I used their practice questions just to like get ready and familiarize myself with the format of the theoretical test. I think you get about 45 minutes to an hour to answer it, but honestly, people were done with the test within 20 minutes. What I liked was like you can answer all the questions and then you can review them before you submit. And you take the test on a tablet. So yeah, it'll be an electronic test. You take it on a tablet. You will be able to go back and check your questions before you press the final submit question, submitting all your answers. And then immediately after that, you get your results right there and there. So that's a cool system that they have. So if you do fail the test, which is actually quite possible, guys, I feel like those questions are very, they're kind of tricky. I passed with 46 out of 50, so yeah. If you do fail the test, don't beat yourself up about it. You just have to wait 1 week before you can rebook another test. So now we're at the stage where you have passed your theoretical driver's test, yay, and now you want to progress to your practical driving test. So unlike the theoretical test, you cannot book the practical test by yourself. You need to find a driving instructor, and the driving instructor will book you a test when they are confident that you are ready to do the test. Okay, so I'm going to put like links of different websites where you can find a driving instructor, and you'll also obviously have to decide if you want to have a license that allows you to drive only automatic cars, or if you want to have a driver's license that's going to allow you to drive both automatic and manual cars. So you do have that choice when looking for a driving instructor. Yeah, so they will be the ones to book you for the actual practical test. So in my case, I mean, I've had my driver's license for like 11 years, but there's a difference between driving for, a driver's test versus practical everyday driving. And so I felt like I just needed to get some tips and all of that about how to pass this test once off, because I didn't want to do it like a million times. So I got a driving instructor and I did 3 lessons with them, and then I did my test and then I passed my test. So if you are looking for a driving instructor in the capital region, I can recommend you my driving instructor. You can actually just send me a DM on Instagram. DM me on Instagram and I can share his contact with you, and yeah, he will really help you, because yeah, by the time I took my test I was feeling better and I was feeling more confident about getting the license in one go. So in terms of pricing for having a driving instructor in Iceland, I think the range is about 16,500 Icelandic krona per lesson, which is about 2,300 South African rands per lesson. And also, like, if you're going to be using the driving instructor's car for the test. So you can decide for yourself, like if you feel that you're confident and you are ready to just do the test without having any lessons, you can do that, but then that's 2,000 rand that you're gambling with. So decide for yourself. So the actual cost of the practical driver's license is gonna cost you 18,820 Icelandic krona, and that's about 2,700 rands. So you pay all of that online after you'll get like a notification that your driver's instructor has booked you a date, and then you just follow the link and make the payment, and then your practical test is booked and you can start preparing yourself for that. So now I'm going to talk about my driver's test experience so that you can get an idea of how it will go and what to look out for. So for me, I arrived 30 minutes before my test and I had like a mini practice run with my instructor. And then after we had practiced, we parked the car and then we walked into the building and we sat in the waiting room. And then my driving examiner came and he called out my name. Don't forget to come with your residence permit card or some sort of identification, your passport. And then what happened was we had to sit in the car basically, and he pulls out a card and he's going to ask you what does these different lights mean, like if you get the battery symbol, what does it mean, how are you supposed to respond to that. So you need to be prepared to answer all those kind of questions about the car. They'll ask you things like what is this light for, when do you use it, so they might ask you to open the bonnet of the car. They might ask you to open the back and show them what you would do if the tire is flat, how to fix a tire. So you just need to be prepared and know the car that you're driving in, which is why I would recommend having 1 or 2 sessions with a driving instructor to familiarize yourself with the vehicle that you're going to be driving in. So we did that went well, and then we drove out of the parking lot. And so things like keeping the speed limit, in the parking lot you're only supposed to drive 15 kilometers per hour. Keep on the lookout for pedestrians, indicating, giving priority to the people on the right in the parking area and in residential areas. Keeping right after you've joined multiple lanes, always keeping to the right, that kind of thing. And keeping the speed limit, obviously. And then obviously which lane to use and how to use which lane when you're in a traffic circle. So I think those are that's what they look out for. But I feel like it was quite chilled because I do know how to drive, but I don't know, I just always get nervous for these kind of things for no reason. But my driving examiner was very chilled. He was very courteous, and he will tell you on time. He or she will tell you on time to change lanes, or we're gonna take this exit and you need to act accordingly, check your blind spots. So it was really smooth. It was a smooth experience. It was really just smooth. So I'm really glad for that. And it was a beautiful sunny day, which I was happy about. So yay. I think that's all I can say about my exam test experience. And then once you're done, you'll drive back to the Frumherji place. You'll have to park the vehicle, and then obviously you'll get your outcome that you passed. And when you pass, they're going to give you like a temporary license. It's just a paper that you submitted to the district commissioner's office. It's just a copy of that. They stamp it and sign it, and then you use that for about 3 weeks while you wait for the card to be ready. And yeah, that's it. Okay, so that basically brings me to the end of the video. I hope you found it useful and helpful. If you do have any questions, you can just drop them in the comment section. And if you've done this process in Iceland, I'd like to hear your experience, how you found it. And I will also leave like links of all the places that you can contact or where to get the different information that you need for this process. Anyway, I'm gonna leave and love you, and I hope that if you're gonna do this process that it goes well for you. Okay, bye! Shams die nächste vlog!